June has come and almost gone, and that means I've got another 10 of my favourite paint jobs from this month. Some finished and posted this month, some that I've just found this month. Either way, we'll take a look, I'll tell you what I like about them, and I'll link them all in the description for you to go find and enjoy yourself. As ever, I'd love to hear about your favourites in the comments, but for now, let's jump in. We're going to start June off with this lovely soft autumnal piece from Kamil Ciuda. This was done for this year's Contrast Festival in Poland. The first thing I thought with this piece is that people don't normally do trees with leaves in their scenes. Quite often it's a bare tree which is either dead or in winter. But Kamil went right ahead and flocked this bad boy. You can see his basing material and how he started in this work in progress shot. Now the aim here was a lone knight, battered and tired, close to death's door. Without a much closer look, I don't know if I'm getting exactly that. I was feeling more like this was a pretty majestic, stoic knight standing as the sun sets, overlooking something perhaps. There are lovely warm colours on the go here, and even from this distance you can see that really nice shine of NMM on both the sword and the shoulder pads. I for one really hope that I can get a proper look at this one day. Next up we have this Pascal Blanche inspired Croûte from Manos, aka Bad Painting Studio. Now this is a piece he did a while back but was able to get a good photo of it recently at the first Alpine Painters Retreat, and boy does it look great. I'm a big fan of Pascal Blanche's work as it is, just because of the bold and very limited colour schemes, and I think this works really well. And I think what you maybe suffer in readability in the middle of the model is more than made up for with the overall look and feel of this piece. I think the red is especially vibrant, and there's a lot to be said for that pile of scrap that the model's standing on. The more you look, the more you start to notice. Initially, I thought, okay, blue upper facing and red shadows, but then further down the pile you have blue as shadows and red upward facing stuff, and to manage that transition between those areas without compromising on the overall vibe of the piece, amazing work. Is it non-traditional? Yes. Do I also love it? Also yes. Okay, now we can take a look at Katarzyna Skowronek's Mama Tortuga, a wonderful study in cool shades, which is strangely the opposite of what one might expect for what is really a tropical themed piece. This one actually ended up with a silver in Masters at Contrast. I was initially drawn into the teal and the greens, but I think the skin is really strong across the whole thing. Very, very natural and lifelike with all those imperfections and subtle colour shifts. I also think the hair is really well done. It manages to look very fine, as one might expect, and there's a lovely purple hue to the greys in there, as well as a lot of colour variation. Now I'm not sure what direction I'll take on my own version of this now, but it is great to see another wonderfully painted Spira in the wild. Next up we have French painter Malika Barchon and this really fun sculpt. I don't know where it's from, but I'm getting very heavy Asterix vibes from it, although that might be just the blues and the facial features. Now this one jumped out at me because everything was so punchy without really relying on fluorescent or unusual colours. The skin tones, the smoke, the sculpt, the map colours, it's all feeling almost like it's taken straight from the pages of a graphic novel. Also special points for the green bounce reflection under the arms and the magical spots within that lower part of the smoke. Now this may also be a work in progress piece, I wasn't 100% sure from the Instagram descriptions, but either way, amazing work. Now this one says it's definitely a work in progress, but honestly to me it looks like a finished piece. This is Roleplay Me, aka Matt, and his dramatic Sphinx. This is his first piece with a rim light, which you can see as green on the shoulders and round the top of the head, and cast shadows, which you can see under the jawline. Interestingly though, what initially stood out to me was the blue in the centre of the face. I love the tones of almost purple in the darks up to the light sky blue highlights, and I was really drawn in by the smoothness. Now that led me to see the gold work on the face and those wonderfully rich eyes, and it wasn't until later I noticed the rim light, and even now I've been paying less attention to things like the neck piece, which I suspect may be where there is more work to be done. However, this one is a really strong piece for me already, so I'm really looking forward to seeing the final thing. Now we've got Porter Westling's Tau piece. This is an homage to the Codex cover art, and honestly, what a brilliant idea. The painting on the piece itself is exceptional, from the dramatic lighting to the backdrop and the glow effects coming from the gun, and it's nice to see what I typically consider quite a goofy model being positioned in a way that completely removes all of that and puts it in a light which really feels mid-battle. There is a really interesting thing to note here too, which is that you'd maybe expect for a scene like this for the main global light to come from an angle which is maybe a little bit more front-facing, or even from the left, to allow that outstretched arm and the weapon to lead the eye up to the face with high values, but the main light source is actually very side-on from the right-hand side, which almost misses the helmet to a degree. But what that does is it allows the OSL from the gun on the left to give us that far more dramatic left-hand side lighting without having all the light coming from that angle. Now, I suspect this was a rather complex piece to do, but major kudos for nailing it. I think it's brilliant. Next up, with the help of some prints from Papsicles, we've got Fossil Painting, and they have given us the crossover that everybody wanted but very few people had seemingly done. Will it be accepted at Golden Demon? Hell no. Is it accepted into my heart? Absolutely. This is such a fun conversion from the poses and the alien being choke-held to the dripping acid burning through that sliced shipping container corridor, and even through the plinth breaking the fourth wall just a little bit. This one is great fun and suitably dramatic and really nicely painted too. Excellent definition on the marine, and the blue stands out of the scene while the aliens look suitably black without coming across as like grey, and there is a lot of lovely colour variation on the base, including some carefully placed blood spatters. This is a great piece which kind of crosses the IP streams in a way that we all wanted Tyranids to do, but I suppose technically wasn't possible for Warhammer to pull off. Now, I noticed this piece in the latest Squidmar video, which introduced the forthcoming Miniature Masters series, which features this very artist, Maxime. This was a piece he got gold for at Monte Sansovino, but as soon as I saw those reds flash past in the video, I was like, okay, I need to find this. Now, I'm actually working on this piece myself, and I've been inspired to go even more vibrant now after seeing this. And I think what I like is that although the red on the figure sways into orange territory, it's not overly highlighted, and the subtle hue difference to the car is there too, where the car is slightly cooler and it serves as a lovely complementary backdrop. The purple of the hair and the pads also works super nicely here, and even the red strips on the ground contribute to this kind of limited scheme which holds the piece together so nicely. Great work focusing the attention up towards the body and the face too with those lighter values, and I love the almost brushed style texture on the non-metallic metals. And best of luck to Maxime in the upcoming Miniature Masters Series 2. Okay, now this is by an Instagram user who goes by Bobe Pope. I have no idea if I'd said that correctly or not. They also go by Surya, it seems. I have no idea where they're from, but I'm fairly sure it's somewhere in East Asia. So this piece has already had a stack of awards from various places, but I feel like it's gone largely unnoticed on this side of the globe. Now, it caught my eye as I'm working on the bust version of 3 of Quentin Sculptor's dwarves, and the skin tones, the smoothness in the hair, and the overall textured but super clean vibes really hit home for me. Surya has managed to work in some beautiful textures in the trousers, the mallet metals specifically, and leathers, but for me the real triumph is the skin on this piece. We've got that dark, almost purple tone in the deep recesses, all the way up through peach to those kind of sunny highlights. It's all super smooth, but it really brings those volumes to life. I also love the seemingly perfect colours used for the tattoos too. There's a very real sense that they are tattoos here rather than just a free-handed painted on the skin surface. I actually think this might be one of my favourite versions of these dwarves so far. A truly amazing work. Now we're going to finish this month with something new from Lo Chak Leung, who had featured in my Best of 2025 video with his very reflective mecha. He's back now with this bunny girl, and he's managed to pack in such a huge amount of colour on such a small piece. First of all, look at the hair. All of those different tones being reflected in what is clearly brown hair, and then look at the gold bunny suit. The bodice has blue, yellows, greens and more, but it's clearly gold. And on the ears you've also got oranges too, and actually the way the white reflections are painted in makes them really look like that sort of almost plasticky material. You know exactly what that feels like without needing to touch it. Then check the skin. Even the skin has blues, reds, purples, greens, lots of subtle shifts in colour, and it's all holding it together in this piece, which on first glance seems so simple, but really betrays a wealth of colour, information and subtlety. Fantastic work, and that brings us to the end of this month's roundup. So that's June. On to July, which brings us Fen Model Show in the UK and probably another buttload of warm weather to dry the fuck out of everybody's palettes. I hope you're all able to get more painting done despite the extremes, and until next month, go finish something.